it was a big piece in life in general, but relationships, I could see in my relationship and people that I was friends with, that it was just coming up constantly. And so that's when I decided to go down that niche and that avenue. And I'm so glad I did, because even now to this day, like, that is the topic that comes up when I'm speaking to a friend and I'm just in my element, in the zone, loving every single piece that we're kind of going back and forth on. But that's how I know that I'm in the right area for that, especially.
I love it. I could tell that. I mean, I for sure was going to ask you about that, because I've been purposely seeking out love and relationship and sexuality coaches to have conversations with on this podcast, because I like what flows out of me in those conversations, because it's just a human connection for me. It's just always been my favorite part of life. And I love that that's where, you know, what you're passionate about, the road that you're continuing to go down. I just want all of us to know out there that, A, there's 7.7 billion humans on Earth, for one, that we're sharing this planet with. And then B, if we can, you know, because I love how you just illustrated that, like, the same work that we're doing for any area of life, like, applies to relationships for sure. Like, when we're talking about everyone's a mirror for us, when we're talking about, you know, reflecting what's going on the inside out in your external world, when we're talking about blocks that are probably blind spots or in the shadows that are affecting your energy, that is causing things to reflect out the way, to have relationships continue to play out the same, because we're still the same. You know, the common denominator to every relationship that any of us have ever had is we've been a part of all of them. So if we find like patterns going on, we can ask the question, we can take the invitation to see, what am I like vibrating right now? Like, what am I attracting as a result of my vibration? And we can get clear on that and get clear on what's important to us, like what we desire, and when it comes to a relationship, and become the frequency of that by embodying that, by living that, and then as a result being able to attract that to us. Out of the 7.7 billion options that are on Earth, no matter what it is that you desire out there, awesome to know that, because then you don't have to do what I see so many people doing, trying to turn the person in front of them into what they feel like they want them to be in order for them to feel happy. People trying to manipulate the external, which is just, good luck with that. Because if if that's not the version of them that they see or want to be, and we're trying to turn them into that, you're just talking about, I mean, you're going.
I can't do anything.
Yeah. So I love what you're doing, and I just, it makes me very happy when people can, you know, from all the different modalities that people teach out there, you know, really at the core of it is just returning us back to just being aware of who all of us truly are. And it doesn't matter to me how we get to that like ground zero, where now we can reflect out our true version of ourselves. Then we can attract the health, the relationships, the abundance, and whatever capacity that we want. I just commend you for being now on your path and, you know, doing the things you're passionate about. I'm going to do more and more relationship and stuff, because I have a lot of fun talking about this. As you can see, I live giving that whole
It is. And I feel like relationships is such an interesting one, because, you know, when you get into, and I really relate to this when I started getting into this work of personal development, you know, spiritual growth, and really that moment that you start to take accountability for your actions and what you're contributing. It's such an interesting piece, because I see constantly over and over again that we can sometimes come into a relationship, or we can be in an existing relationship and start to have this awareness and take accountability for, you know, all of our triggers and our blocks and everything that we're contributing. And we can take too much ownership, and we can take too much responsibility, because we might be more interested in that personal development than our partner is. And that's where it's a little bit of a mismatch sometimes, and it can be almost like this work, you need to know this, and this is a really big key piece of self-worth, is you need to know if you are taking on too much responsibility that isn't yours. You know, you might be really incredible at admitting when you're wrong, and, you know, saying that you don't need anyone to change, or you don't need this, or you don't need that. But there's also this balance of communicating your needs and setting a boundary and making sure that you are being respected. And so it's this real kind of gray area, I think, when you start to have this self-accountability, where you still have your boundaries and you still make sure that you're not you're not losing yourself in the relationship, and you're not taking responsibility for their stuff or their triggers. And I think that's what I see. That's a really common thing I see with a lot of women that I work with, and myself included. I used to do that a lot. And so it's this really interesting kind of balance that we need to juggle, I guess.
You just inspired me to share something that would be very valuable for the audience, Ash, and I appreciate you inspiring this. And so really the only thing that any of us can control is what is vibrating inside of us. Like, we can't control the external at all. Like, so control the vibration. And so knowing that if we are, say we're clear on what it is that, you know, is important to us in relationship, what we desire, and, you know, we're able to be clear, honest with ourselves. So in essence, we're able to share that with whoever it is that we need to share it with when the time is right to share that. And if we just hold the frequency and embody that and choose to live that, because that's what's important to us, that's how we want to live. Say you want to live in, you know, whatever it is, like whatever it is that your desires out there, your life experiences cause you to be clear about that as of today. Maybe you evolve and have a different desire as time goes, but right now this is important. Your person that you're with, the significant other, the people in your life, will either evolve into co-creation in that was important to you, if that's also important to them, or the universe will move them out of your experience and attract, because you can't help if you're being the frequency of what it is that you want to be, do, have, you can't help but attract in to your life something that's a match to that. So either the person that you're with evolves into that, which is awesome, you get to keep that relationship going, but you never have to like force it to where you're like trying to like change this person or say, if you don't do this, this, and this, then we're not going to be. Just continue living your truth, and then you'll be able to attract to your truth, whether it be that person or someone else. You don't have to compromise anything that is important to you because of that's. I mean, it would suck if we lived on a planet with like 5 other people. Like, damn. I don't know if these other 4 are going to be available anytime soon. So maybe I might. But we don't have to do that. So.